Hello, my name is Andrew Dawson from Harvard Media News. Great to have you with us today as we have the opportunity to talk to one of the great business leaders in Saskatchewan, and that's Tim Gitzel, who is the CEO of Cameco. Tim, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me, Andrew.
First of all, we're going to get into Cameco and its size and its reach and how it's grown, but I'm really fascinated about you. Small town, Prince Albert. You were born in Prince Albert here in Saskatchewan, and now you head the largest uranium company in the Western world. I don't think that's a big overreach. That's a long journey. How did you get from born in Prince Albert to the head of Cameco?
Well, that's a great question, and sometimes I ask myself that. I feel like Forrest Gump. I see myself in some pictures and say, how did a guy that grew up in PA and small town Saskatchewan, my dad was RCMP. Mm-hmm. And so we moved every 3 years. We lived, I think we lived in 7 different communities over the years. And so what happened for me, I wanted to play hockey. I was like every kid probably out of Saskatchewan. You grow up playing road hockey under the street light. I did the same. I got a job when I was 17 between grade 11 and 12. I was in North Battleford at the time. I was playing hockey there with the junior team at the time. I got a summer job at a uranium mine. They were just opening up, Clough Lake it was called, owned by the French. And I worked in the warehouse, so I was just sweeping floors and doing things like that. But one of the jobs I had, I got to drive the CEO around when he flew up to the mine. That was just driving around for the day. And French guy, French company, French guy. Got to meet him, got to talk to him. He loved hunting, he loved fishing, stuff that I love. And so I got to know him, and I kind of had a dream in my mind. I said, I'd love to be that guy.
I want to
someday.
be that guy. Minus the French accent, though, right?
Yeah. So you know what? I played a bit of hockey. I went to school. I went to the U of S. I actually moved to Quebec and learned French. I thought, if you're going to work for a French company, you should probably learn a bit of French. Good idea. Learned French, and ended up working for that company in the summers for 7 summers. And you know, that guy sent me to France for 2 summers to do a summer student job in Paris.
Wow.
And so it really set the table for me. I came back, went to law school, and I worked for about a year outside of law school, and then the company called and said, hey, you want to come work for us? And it was like Hotel California. I've never left. That was 35 years ago, and kind of just worked my way up the food chain over the years.
And you talk about 35 years ago. 35 years ago, that's a long time between now and then. And a lot has changed, not only in the mining industry as a whole, but when it comes to uranium. We talk about Saskatchewan has this great basin of uranium here, that one of the largest in the world, I believe, or certainly in the competition, in the conversation. And it's developed kind of slowly over the years, and that was probably because of some of the stigma attached to nuclear. You remember in the 60s and the 70s. I do. And yet here we are today, where now it's talked about as safe, clean, efficient, low-emission type of power that might be the silver bullet for some of the problems we're facing. It's changed. The game has changed entirely when it comes to uranium mining, and it seems like Cameco has really positioned itself well.
I've never seen such strong support for nuclear, not only in Saskatchewan, in Canada, U.S., around the world. Yeah. And, we have gone through some tough times. When I started, we'd just come out of, there's been kind of 3 accidents that have defined the industry, and people never forget them, the 3 Mile Island, Chernobyl, and Fukushima. And so after each one of those, we've taken a skid and gone, it's been tough. But, that was Fukushima now was 2011, so it's almost 14 years ago, and the world needs enormous amounts of electricity. If your kitchen is like mine at night, if you can find a spare plug-in to plug your phone or your iPad or your computer, anything, the world's not using less electricity, it's using way more. Yeah. And now we've got AI. These data centers are coming to us looking, can you build us a nuclear reactor for our data center? So that's the world we're living in now. When you look at your electricity choices, we went through a period where it was climate change, climate crisis, climate catastrophe, race to net zero. People did not want fossil fuel. So coal was not popular. Oil and gas, not so great. Natural gas, same thing. And so they looked hydro. Well, if you have it, if you happen to have a river, not everybody does. And then nuclear. Don't really love it, but okay. But so now nuclear is back on. People look at all those choices and they say, we have to have nuclear.
Exactly. And now the sort of the revelation we're talking about here in Saskatchewan are these small modular nuclear reactors. And let me preface that with this. Back in the day, your market's not very big for uranium. The Americans use a little nuclear. Europe is a little bit more nuclear, and I think Japan, maybe some other places in Asia, but it wasn't as big. Now everybody's talking nuclear. Everybody's talking about especially these small modular nuclear reactors, or SMRs. And it's amazing to me just sort of how the world has opened up. It's not a magic bullet, and there are a lot of safety concerns, but at the same time, there's been so many strides in safety when it comes to this, not just from the mining, but from the use of it as an electrical source. I mean, it's a change that, like, it's got to be difficult to keep up with, the going from people going, yeah, your Cameco's nice, or uranium's okay, but we'll do this. Now all of a sudden people are calling you up going, so how quick can we get one of those SMR thingies? Like, how long does that take? I mean, it's changed a lot.
A dramatic change in the last, I'd say, 5 years, especially. And a big driver was when the Russians went into Ukraine, and all of Europe, depending on Russian gas. Yeah. And all of a sudden said, wow, is that our plan going forward? So they wanted to shut that off. Said, now what are we going to do? And then anybody that had a nuclear plant in Europe saying we're not taking Russian fuel anymore. So all of a sudden we became super popular. Our market cap of our company was $3 billion in 2017. It's $53 billion today. I mean, the growth has been outstanding. It's given us the confidence. We went out and bought a company called Westinghouse. So we can build those mini reactors, SMRs, and we still build the big ones. And lots of countries are saying, we're not going to build the SMRs. We got to go right to the big ones because we need so much power. And so, yeah, the market's changed dramatically for us. It's a new movie. I'm in a different country just about every week, speaking at a conference or speaking with governments. Yeah. A lot of governments involved in the nuclear business. And so, yeah, it's great times. And to be able to do it from right here in Saskatchewan is heartwarming for me.
Well, and this is, the economic opportunity here was good, but now, as you've just talked about, with the sentiment not only around the world but even across the country, the elbows up mentality, the politics, we won't get into the politics side and tariffs and all that, but the demand is just increasing even more. So how do you, as a CEO running this massive company, how do you adjust to that kind of market change?
Yeah, well, we've had to just grow the company along with the market. And so, you said it earlier, we're blessed with these large, high-grade mines up in northern Saskatchewan. That's a freak of nature. And we've got the right geology, and so we've got the right people there. So, we produce probably about 20-25% of the world production comes out of northern Saskatchewan, and we're probably going to increase that going forward. As the market grows, we will grow our production. Here in Saskatchewan, we also have mines in the United States. We have some projects over in Australia. We're in Kazakhstan. We have ore processing facilities. We call them conversion facilities in Ontario, just outside of Toronto. And then with Westinghouse, we can build nuclear reactors for you. So we just decided, we took all our chips and we pushed them in the middle, and we said, if we're ever going to make it, and if we're ever going to go, now's the time. Looks like we made a pretty good choice. Well,
and the political winds are blowing the right way. The financial winds are blowing the right way. I mean, this is a great opportunity for your company not only to grow, but grow massively into an area that, as you talked about, we're increasing our need for power. AI is only going to increase that by, I think, more of an exponential percentage as opposed to a simple percentage. I mean, it's just going to increase that. And your business is going to continue to grow to meet that demand.
Somebody gave me an example the other day. They said if you take your phone and do a Google search on Andrew, it'll take 1x of power. If you do a ChatGPT search on the same thing on Andrew, 10 times as much electricity.
And that's just
to do
one
that
subject,
search. That's just one little small example, but that my pea brain can understand. Yeah. So you see that replicated around the world, and the needs for electricity and clean electricity are massive. And that has, we were... Okay, nuclear if we have to, but not now. I can tell you there are countries coming to us, please, can we get first in line for new nuclear? And so that's made us scramble to make sure we've got the fuel. That's the Cameco business, make sure we've got the fuel so that won't be a roadblock on the path to new nuclear around the world.
So here you are, you're going to be addressing the Hill Dinner for the Paul J. Hill Business School. Always great to be the keynote speaker at this, too. I mean, here's an opportunity, as we talked about right off the top, and I like to do full circle in the interviews here. So, off the top, you talked about how you were inspired by the CEO of a French company that paid a little attention to you. Is this an opportunity now with some of the young minds at that Paul Hill Business School to try and influence or inspire some of them?
Well, this should be a great inspiration. If a washed-up road hockey player from Meadow Lake can get a decent job and do okay, then it's pretty much good for all these kids that come out of the Paul Hill School of Business. I mean, it's one of the top business schools in Canada for sure. Paul Hill's a good friend of mine, by the way, and so, yeah, it will be. I'm really honored to have the chance to speak with the crowd tomorrow night. And, I will tell them that the world's their oyster and that we in Saskatchewan are not second class. We're world class, and our companies are world class, and they can be part of it.
Just before I let you go, and because I was going to wrap the interview there, but you just brought up an interesting point. Saskatchewan really has that Canadian sort of thing. Oh, pshaw, we're not that great. We don't do that much. We do our thing, and we're happy to contribute. But this is a world-class province when it comes to not just uranium, but all the other minerals and things that we export. I mean, this is a province that's ready to stand on the world stage.
This morning, before I even got here, I had a call with the Indian High Commissioner. He was in Delhi. They're looking for uranium from Saskatchewan. I had a conference call with a group, the International Atomic Energy Agency out of Vienna. There were people from around the world. And then we got here to Regina, and we're talking to people. I mean, we are global. We are as well known, Cameco, Saskatchewan, in Mumbai as we are in Paris and London and Beijing. It's a worldwide thing, and we're on the map, I can tell you that.
Well, good luck with the dinner and speaking to students. It's way easier than doing one of these interviews. I guarantee you. It's simpler. It's way more fun. And best of luck as well going forward as Cameco goes into this new exciting chapter of the future.
Andrew, thank you. And thank you for your support of our company and our business. We appreciate it.
I just want to thank Tim for being our guest here today. I also want to thank Curtis Gammon, who was our operator and producer of this for today. Thanks for joining us. Have a nice day.